Hey guys, it's Ken here from OKportugal and welcome to Fundão in Central Portugal. Today we're just outside a traditional Portuguese village called Orca, where I'll be showing you a gorgeous farm property with so much to offer. This stunning piece of land covers 2.34 hectares, which is just under 6 acres, and includes an urban construction, olive groves, fruit orchards, ample water sources, breathtaking views and endless potential. We're in the heart of Portugal, right on the border of Fundão and Castelo Branco municipalities. This property is just a short walk from Orca, where you'll find a mini Mercado supermarket, a couple of restaurants and cafes, a petrol station, an ATM, and even a public swimming pool that's open during the summer months. Orca is ideally situated halfway between Fundão and Castelo Branco, and these nearby cities are only a 30-minute drive and offer all the shops and amenities that you could need. If you're looking to venture further, Porto and its international airport are a 3-hour drive north, while Lisbon and its international airport are about 2.5 hours away. We're also very close to Spain's border, and its capital city Madrid can be reached in around 4 hours. And for those of you that are dreaming of Portugal's warmest southern beaches, you can reach the Algarve region and Faro International Airport in around 4.5 hours drive. The property itself is divided into productive olive groves with about 200 olive trees, fruit orchards and some beautiful forested areas with stunning views and ample privacy. Water is plentiful here thanks to 4 large deep wells, along with a seasonal stream that flows through the property in the cooler months. There's an urban construction on site which has great potential for renovation into a family home. And at the other end of the land, there's also an 8-meter caravan that the current owners use while working on the property. So let's take a closer look at what this beautiful farm property has to offer. And the very best way to do that is to start at the entrance of the property, which is just over here. There's actually 2 entrances. There's one on this side, and there's one all the way on the other side of the property over there. On the left here, we have a public track that goes past the property, but this is not in much use at all. And probably about 30-40 meters away, up this track that I'm walking on, that comes from the property, we reach a tar road in front. And as you can see, it's quite a nice little track. You can get any car up and down here. In fact, both of the tracks, you can get any cars up and down. While I'm walking on the track now, I'm just going to pop up a map on the screen. I'm going to show you the borders and limits of the property, and also going to show you where we currently are in relation to the property. And this is the tar road that leads all the way down into the village of Orca. That's only a couple of minutes walk away. And this is what the driveway to the property looks like. And if you just go up the road about 20-30 meters, there's a bunch of post boxes there, and one of the post boxes belongs to the property that we're looking at today. Okay, so let's go in through this entrance at the bottom of the land. I'll call this the bottom of the land. It's closest to the village, and as you can see, we go uphill. So the property is quite a long shape, and we've got a beautiful hill section over there with some lovely trees. But this section, I think, is probably a good place for you to start building and stuff, because if you look, we've actually got this granite building over here, and this is actually an urban building. So it's been classified as urban. That means that you can actually renovate it and live inside it. Now, I'm not qualified to interpret Portuguese legal documents when it comes to properties, so I have to go on the information that I'm supplied by the agents or the seller. But anyone obviously interested in buying property in Portugal should get a lawyer to obviously look through all the paperwork and tell them what can and can't be done. The sellers have told me that they've had an architect basically tell them that they can build this up to 200 square meters. So if we look at this building as it is now, it's obviously a lot smaller than that. It's beautiful though. It's made out of some really stunning granite stones, and it also has a brand new roof on the top, so they've changed that. On the outside we have a beautiful lemon tree that's covered in some really healthy looking lemons, and then we have a very traditional metal door on the front of this barn. So let's have a look inside. Sure. So as you can see, it's a nice big space. It's almost in a square shape. We've got insulation up in the ceiling here, a brand new roof. We got some really nice big granite walls, big stones. They've put a little bit of sort of grouting on the walls, or plastering on the walls, but that could be removed. And yeah, all in all, a nice big space. All right, let's get some dimensions on this place. So we're looking at a width of 5.28 meters by 5.24 meters long, and we're looking at a ceiling height on the apex of 3.4 meters. And like I said earlier, this could all be expanded. And that's the great thing about having this little urban title down here, which means that you can expand this and you can live on the space. And that's not the only place where you can stay on the land. We're going to get there in a bit. But all the way up there on the top of the land, there's an 8-meter caravan that's all set up. The owners currently use that when they're working on the land, but perhaps whoever is doing a renovation project here has a place to stay while all that's happening. So this property has loads of olive trees. I've been told there's over 200. They basically stretch all the way through here on a whole bunch of different terraces and all the way over the back. And I've been told that last year they got over 250 litres of olive oil. And the olive oil that you get from your own trees is absolutely fantastic stuff. And in addition to all of those olive trees, the owners have also planted a whole bunch of fruit trees all over the place. There's apples, plums, figs. There are oranges just up here. We've also got some screening on the side here, which is large sort of bamboo sections. And we've got a really nice little feature over here. Well, there's a bridge going over a little stream. Now this stream runs in the colder months, in the wetter months. It's going to start running soon, but we've just come out over summer, so it's a little bit dry, but it stretches along this side and then obviously stretches along this side over here. Now the owner was saying that this little bridge that goes over the stream over here is very, very strong. He's taken some big trucks and things over there. I think he was saying 2 or 3 tons, so you don't have to worry if you need to get big machinery and stuff from this side of the property to the front here. And there's loads of these vines all over the place. Now they've been cut now, so you can't actually see the growth, but they're basically spread all along the boundaries of the land and different places like terraces that cut through the land. And there's going to be loads of these for you to make your own wine with. And looking forward of the bridge, we have a couple of orange trees, really nice, big, healthy looking ones. In fact, I see 4 over here and possibly a 5th one. Yes, there's a 5th one just towards the back. But this actually takes us onto a really interesting area. It's like a nice big flat open space, and we have a huge well. This is actually one of the wells on the property, and one of the big features of this property is all of the water that it has from these gigantic wells. Now this is quite a cool well because it has some steps that lead down into the water, so you can actually get down to the water. The owner was actually saying that in the summertime he was actually coming down here and having a dip. Now at the moment there's lots of sort of pond weed or whatever you call it. This isn't algae, this is actually a type of plant that grows on the surface, and if you move it away with your hands, it's actually quite clean and clear underneath there because it stops the light from going through to grow algae. And you can see that back in the days they obviously used to use this for irrigation. They would put it into this tank so that it have some kind of a system that would pump it out of there, put it into this tank over here, and then this tank would overflow and go through this little gully over here and down in this direction. And I'm guessing that probably what they did was grow some vegetables along this section under here or over here and underneath these trees. This one over here looking like an apple tree, and another big orange tree just over there. Central Portugal can get very hot in the summer, so it's really nice to have a lot of big mature trees around on a piece of land where you can get lots of shade. So in front here we have what looks like another orange tree. Got lots of oranges on this farm, wow. And this actually takes us onto another little terrace that has another one of these huge wells that we can see over here, and this one is massive. Wow. Okay, so we've got a staircase coming down in this direction here to take you down to the water, and what a beautiful well. Jeez, look at the stonework, that's absolutely magnificent. And this one again also has a system where they would have had a long pole with buckets that would go into the water, and then they would bring it up, and then they would dump the water from the buckets into this tank over here, and then from this tank it would gravity feed, I'm guessing, onto this sort of terraced area here, and you could grow a whole bunch of veggies and things like that. And obviously now in this day and age you can use electrical pumps or solar powered pumps, and you can send that water around without doing too much work. But you've got a really nice sort of space over here where you can grow tons of veggies, and you've got some really incredible big mature olive trees as well, absolutely massive. I mean, that one over there looks about as big as the biggest one on our farm. And then lots and lots of fruit trees. A lot of citrus so far, but I've been told that there are lots of other different types. But look at these, perfect, really healthy looking, beautiful oranges. Right, so I'm just going to pop up a little map on the screen so you know where I'm walking around right now. I'm going to go to another well just on this side over here, well number 3. Check this out. It's just in that corner over there, but oh wow, look at this. Olives. There are just stacks of them in the trees here. It's going to be a good year for olives, it seems. It's definitely the season now where all of these should be getting picked, but they're looking really nice and healthy. And the ones on this tree over here, this is a different variety. This is a type of eating olive. Really nice. All right, so let's go and have a look inside this well. This one's a little bit smaller, but it's the same kind of thing. We've got a little staircase going down. I think you'd have to be quite brave to go down this one, because this is a deep well. This kind of indicates to me that this is using a different water source. So how the wells go into groundwater, into an aquifer, this one's a lot deeper. And we've obviously come from that direction over there. So we've come from the well over there, we've come from the well over there, and those are a lot higher up. And that's telling me that it's using a different water source, and that's pretty good, because we've just come out of a long hot summer. These wells are actually quite full, in all honesty. The rains have only just started, so there's plenty of water on the land, and it means that, let's say if one of the wells did go dry, you've obviously got another couple of wells that are using a different water supply. So let me just show you where we've come from. This is the well we were just looking at. The well stretching out in this direction. We've got all of these olive trees. We've got even more orange trees. Wow, they love their oranges here. I mean, you could produce a whole stack of them. And then we've got this wall over here. We have another big well over there, but we've got a beautiful granite wall. Before we get there, they've put this section over here, which they made, I've been told, for veggies. Let me just get out the sun so you can see it a little bit better. So they put up some fencing around it so that animals can't get in. And what they were doing over the years is they were actually planting their vegetables in here, and they were getting water from this well just on the side. And in a place that gets hot like this, it's actually nice to use the shade of the olive trees. Obviously in summertime, the olive trees, give a really nice big shade, and you can plant stuff that doesn't get withered in the heat. Look at the size of this well. This is an absolutely huge one, and so beautiful. Imagine the amount of work that it would have taken to make one of these, brick by brick, or slab of stone by slab of stone. And if you look in there, there's a staircase going all the way down, a big spiral staircase. A really, really deep well. So impressive. And then we have a little water tank just on the side. And again, I think this water tank's probably used for getting water out of the well, putting it into this tank, and then drip irrigating it here for some of the trees or something that you're growing along the side. So this terrace over here is actually propped up by a really nice looking granite wall, and this wall is about somewhere between 1.2 and 1.4 meters high. Really nice big slabs. Obviously this keeps back all of the earth from the top terrace here, but it looks really strong and sturdy. It hasn't broken in any places. And then we have this whole new terrace over here that's just full of mature olive trees. So let's go up there and have a look. I'm actually really loving the fact that most of the areas here, all of the terraces are quite flat. There are different heights to the land, so you do get some really nice views. At the moment now, we're on the sort of lowest part. So as we look around, we can just see all of our trees and things like that. But we don't seem to be looked over. It's quite private feeling. But once we get up there, we're going to see some of the views. And as we go up here, we can see there's nice little paths and tracks that basically lead from all the way back down there, from where the house is, from where the urban construction is, or the barn that could be a house. And as you come up, you've got a really nice little road taking you up here. And then this is what this terrace looks like with all these olive trees. Look at this absolutely fabulous looking one here with a huge trunk. And it's just covered in olives. Wow. Amazing. Now we can see the road goes in this direction, but he's also kind of made a path that splits down in this direction. And in front of us here we have another terrace. So let's go up there and have a look. This is actually the place where the architect told them that they could build a house. That if they cut back some of these trees and on this raised section, they can build there. And if I go up there now, you'll be able to see why. Because from up here, you've got these expansive views just stretching out, looking at the Gardenia Mountains in the background here. Looking at the village of Orca, you can see little parts of it over there. And really amazing views. So the owners are telling me that the architect said they could build up to 200 square meters, obviously on the urban construction, but at the same time they can also build an annex somewhere else on the land. And also that 200 square meter construction could be 1 floor or 2 floors high. So you can build quite a substantial family home down there. And another lovely little annex just here in the woods. When I say in the woods, but actually there's actually a section on top of this hill here that's kind of an open area and could be perfect for a cabin. So let me just go in there quickly and show you what it looks like. It's all going to be a little bit overgrown, but check this out. Now the owners of this land could obviously come in here and clear this out a lot more. But it is quite nice to have a piece of forest on the land, and that piece of forest is very isolated from every other piece of forest, so you know, it's actually quite fire safe in a way, because if this does burn, all of the surrounding land is very clean and clear. But if you came in here and you did sort of fix it up a little bit, there's a section in front that's quite flat. I came here about a week ago with the owner just to have a walk around and orientate myself and find out all the information of the property. So I'm just trying to remember where everything is. But yeah, how nice is this? Alright, there seems to be a bit of a flatter section here, so let's walk through here. And I don't know if the mic's picking up the sound of all the birds and the views from up here. That is magnificent. Alright, let me try and find this flat section in front here. I think it's in front. Here we go. So I believe the owner has actually cut this all back before, but obviously things grow so quickly, and whoever buys this has a relatively flat space up on the top of this hill. The rest of the property stretches down into the background here, and I'll show you that in a bit. In fact, from here I think we can start to get glimpses of the caravan and stuff down there. But I'm loving the sound of all of these birds. Listen. Oh, so nice to have nature like that, and a lovely natural part like this in the middle of a very well manicured farm. Okay, so let me show you on a map exactly where we are. I'm actually going to go to the other side of this this hill now, this little mountain, and I'm going to try going through here. I believe the owner was saying that he actually just drives his 4x4s through here, so I don't think there's any big rocks or anything to hit. I think you can just drive straight through all of this stuff, and you can drive all over the land, it seems, because he's got lovely little tracks and trails going all over the place. Yeah, here we go. So this is the other side of the land here. So if we go in this direction up here, up and around, it'll take us to the section where the caravan and everything is, just over here. But if we go back and we swing you around, we can actually see a bit more of the views of Orca, and we can see the mountains in the background, and we can see the land that stretches out here. So the land goes all the way along here and back in this direction and down. And I think down there you can see where the roof of the barn is, or the roof of the urban building. Alright, so let me walk up this track here and take you to the other section. This is a really cool section as well. And as we go over here, we can see a whole new olive grove. There's a whole stack of olive trees just over here. These ones are a lot smaller, but there's still lots of them, and they actually do produce olives. Now the owner has fenced off some parts of the property, mainly going around this section over here, but it's not completely fenced off. But just look in the background here, so really nicely manicured. He's cut back all of the weeds and everything, so we've got nice big open fields. Then we have this wild part here. This is the section that we were walking through before, and then the land obviously steps down and goes on to the olive grove terraces. But beautiful, look at that. Right, so now I'm going to show you the cabin, or the caravan. They've actually built a nice little shelter around it, and it looks like a nice little place to stay. This is what they use when they come down here on holidays and they're going to be doing work on the farm. They stay in this space. And as we go through here, I just want to point out that these trees are actually regrowing. The owner was saying that all of the trees in this section here, it looks as if they were cut, and he doesn't know exactly why that was. But even though they've cut, and they've still got very strong bases, and they're actually growing really well out of the cut sections. Olive trees are actually like bushes. They're not really trees, and you actually have to coax them to make them to grow like a tree. So they grow quite wild and bushy. But it is incredible to see just how tough they are and how resilient they are. And even though these were all cut down, this actually still makes a really nice looking olive grove. And as you can see, it's not going to take very long until all these grow back up again. But so far, so good. This is it's a lovely bit of land. It's so peaceful over here. I'm loving all of the bird sounds and things like that. We've had a lot of days of rain over the last week. This has been one of the first sunny days, so it's been really nice to be out in the sun again. All right, and here is the caravan, and it's underneath this little shelter that they've made with a tin roof, with wooden boards on the side. I can see there's a couple of solar panels over there. Now it's an 8-meter caravan, and it's movable, so you can actually trailer this out of here. It doesn't have to stay if you don't want it to stay. It can be sold on or whatever, but quite nice. Let's go and have a look inside. I've been in here once briefly, so let me just figure out how it opens up. There we go. All right, look at this space. So on the left we've got a seating area, it seems. We've got cupboards and storage up on the top. We've got a little sunroof or ventilation up on the top. And then they were telling me that they've got this big fridge over here which they use. Looks like it runs on 12 volts. I think that's what the solar is for. And it's got quite a nice floor, like a lino floor that's put in anew. And we've got a sink and we've got a cooker. Lots of storage. So I'm just doing this ad lib as we go along. Oh yes, he did say that the fireplace inside the caravan, they'll be taking it with them, but it's not going to be too difficult to get another little burner. All of the pipes and everything are there, so you just put another flue straight through there. Another little burner, and a small burner is only going to cost you a couple of $100, and then that'll heat this place up. Looks like they've put in insulation up on the roof to insulate it a bit more, and it looks like there's some kind of a fan or an air conditioner up here as well, or even possibly a heater. And then this is obviously the bed on this side over here, space for a double bed, and then there's a toilet, and which is a composting loo. Sorry, this is a shower, so this is the shower basin, and then they've got a loo over here. And actually this is not a composting loo, this is a Thetford, so this is a cartridge loo. But yeah, so a little shower on this side. Nice little caravan actually. And it's actually quite a big space, 8 meters. It's pretty huge. Now I think if you were staying here sort of permanently, you've got options to do things like compost loos. And compost loos are actually going to be a really good way to do things when you're sort of getting set up. But obviously once you build like the main house on that side over there, then you can obviously put in a septic tank. Also that main house on that field over there, or up in the front, is close to the tarred road. And that tarred road is part of a village, so it's going to have services like water, electricity, sewage, stuff like that. So there's a possibility that you can actually connect onto that because you're not too far away. I do like this caravan. It's got such a nice vibe looking out over these olive trees over here. This is a really, really nice space. And I don't know if you can see in the background, we've got some of the mountain views just happening over there, which is really nice. Now there is actually a neighbor that stays on this side over here. I think this is one of the only plots that actually has a neighbor. All of the surrounding plots that go around us here and around this side, those actually don't have anyone staying in them. Oh wow, look at this mushroom. That is amazing. Look at the size of that. That is crazy. Let me just put my camera next to this so you can get an idea of scale. But that is an absolutely huge mushroom. Wow. Yeah, this time of year you get loads of mushrooms popping up all over the place. I'm sure in that forested section up there you will find a stack of edible mushrooms. So venturing past the cabin, we've got some lovely oak trees. We've got oak trees, cork oak trees. In fact, those are just regular oak trees. And I love this. He's made a fire pit. Now, I believe he was saying that he will be taking the tripod with him, but obviously the fire pit and the logs and things stay behind. But look how nice that looks. And it's not going to be difficult for you to get yourself some stuff that you can make your own little tripod out of. But imagine sitting around a campfire here and you're looking out over the forest and your own little cabin over here. And actually it's worth pointing out that this cabin also has, it collects rainwater. So they've got 2 big IBCs by the looks of it. And they've got guttering. And then the water obviously goes into the IBCs, and he was saying that they use that in their shower. On the back here he's got a generator. Now I'm not sure, obviously you can speak to the owners and find out what is included and what isn't included in the sale of the property. But it's always handy to have a nice generator. But that's what the back of the caravan looks like. All right, and let's continue and go to the other entrance of the property. Because as I said earlier, there's 2 ways of getting in and out of this place. You don't just have to get in that side. You could actually divide it up in 2 and have almost 2 properties where you've got a nice little cabin down here or annex, and you've got the main house all the way on that side over there. 2 separate entrances. Nice solution. The owner was also pointing out that he's got a whole bunch of sawdust, and it's in these bags over here. This is going to stay, well, at the property. There's a couple of tons of sawdust here, and this is perfect stuff for composting loose. So you actually put this inside the composting toilet, and that's a nice eco-friendly way of doing it, so that you're not putting chemicals and stuff into the ground. And then this is a little track that basically runs from the entrance, which is just on this side over here, and if I turn around here, you can see this is where the cabin is, just over here. We've got this little track. We've got it fenced off on the side here, and this is the other option. But as I said earlier, I mean, you can come in this entrance and you can drive all the way along here, over the top and through. You can also drive all the way down here and go over this side. You can drive around all of the different terraces. You can then get over that little bridge, and you can get all the way down to the urban construction. And then you can get out to the road to where Orca is. So lots of options. And those roads are actually in really good condition as well. It's not like some farm tracks where, you know, you can't get regular cars in or out. Right, so these are the gates here. It's, well, I call them gates, but at the moment it's 2 poles, and they basically demarcate the entrance. And this would be the space where you could put your farm gates, and you could put a big plaque with whatever you're going to be calling your new farm. And you got these incredible views again. I just love those mountains there, the Caravan. And then look at this. Sure. Now, if you are interested in buying this property, have a look in the video description below and the top pinned comment on YouTube. I'm going to put the agent's details that is selling the property. You can give them a call, you can email them, they do speak English, and they can answer any questions that you may have. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and we'll see you on the next one. Let us know what you think in the comments, and ciao for now.